Hello everyone. So today we are going to create a Windows Server 2016 data center version, that is the latest server that is available with Windows. And we will also enable port number 80 so that the web traffic can be allowed onto this particular cloud instance. So let's first of all log in into the server, right? So just type portal.azure.com and that will take you to the dashboard. Okay. Right now I just have one instance running that is also deleted, so I'm just gonna remove that. I have another instance running, so let me go ahead and delete this instance out. And every day whenever you log in, you should see the prices over here. It should show you in the notification that how much is left. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the resource before we jump on to doing anything else. Okay, so just click on the dashboard. Now let's create a new version of Windows Server 2016 data center. So click on plus new symbol. Get this symbol. Here you can do like couple of things in the search the marketplace. You can directly type Windows Server 2016 data center because I want to install this. Or you can simply go to compute and select click see all, and you will see all the images that are available. So even from here you can just click Windows Server. This will show you all the images that are available for Windows 2016 or 2012, 2008. So what we will do is we will just pick up Windows Server 2016 data center. Okay. You want to make sure the resource group is already created for you. Okay, that's the one that we are going to keep using it. So whatever you see right now here, click on create in the resource manager section. Click create. It will show you a basic configuration setting, the size of the virtual machine, and then we will set up some additional feature and then we will load this version. So let's just name this particular virtual machine as e-learning VM for website hosting. Okay. So e-learning VM for host website testing, maybe there is something wrong. The value should be in between this. So let's just do up to this much. Okay, there you go. Select the disk type as HTTP. Let's just type the username as admin. E-learning admin. Okay. Just put the password as password. There are some complex requirements, so you want to make sure you fulfill that requirements. The password should be between 12 to 123 characters. So make sure you guys save all these things somewhere, right? Otherwise, what you might need it later, you can retrieve it definitely, but it's better just to save all the details, right? So it is easy to log in into this. Okay. Now, subscription, it is still going to be a free trial because that's what we are using. You can create a new resource group or you can use the existing one. For example, right now I already have a resource group as e-learning. Okay, so you can select that one. Or let's just create a new VM, new group. We will name it as e-learning Windows Server Group. Okay, the location is gonna be in East. You can also pick up the West. Will not be able to use this one, so e-learning group. Okay, East US, we will just keep the location as East US. So let's just recap. The name is this is the SSD, so we'll pick the HTT. The username is e-learning admin. I have set up the complex password. The subscription is gonna be free trial. I am creating a new resource group right now. This is gonna be the location of your VM. Just say if you already have a Windows license for 2016, you can easily add it over here. As you do not have it, as we don't have it, just say no and click OK. So it will go to the virtual machine size. Let me also show you a different Windows VM sizes that are available and that will be useful, right? So if you guys go to the website on the virtual machine size, these are the sizes available for Windows. For the general purpose, you have to go with the DSV2, DV2, DS, D, and or A0 to A7. This is all for general purpose. Okay, it has a balanced CPU to memory ratio. Then there are something like a compute optimized, that means it will have a higher CPU power as compared to the memory power. So you can go with all the FS series and app series that are usually compute optimized. Okay. When you go look at the memory optimized one, that means this instances will have a higher memory as compared to the CPU. So this is great for the relational database server, medium to large cache, and the in-memory analytics, right? When you know that you want to run the analytics in memory, right? Or for this instance, then it makes sense to go with the memory optimized one because you are going to load such a high amount of data into your instances. So it makes sense to just say take the memory optimized ones. The next one is the storage optimized, right? So that means it will have a higher amount of storage, and this is mostly useful for a big data NoSQL SQL server database, right? It will have a high test throughput and the output. So depending upon your requirement, you have to pick the correct server type. But mostly right now, as we are still learning, we will just go ahead and use mostly the general purpose one. We will not use the computer optimized or memory optimized or even storage optimized one. Let's talk about the GPUs. GPUs are the sizes of NV and NC, right? It is specialized virtualized machine that are targeted for the heavy graphic and video editing. So if you know that you have to do lot of video recording, right, or video editing, then it makes more sense just to go with this type of CPUs, right? High performance compute. This is mostly used for a big data analytics when the performance is the key component for your any VM, right? The sizes are usually H as well as A8 to A11, right? So do not get confused that if you pick everything with the series A, that will be general. It's not. From A8 to A11, these are all high performance CPUs, right? It is fastest and most powerful CPU virtual machine with the optional high throughput network interface, right? So these are the depending upon your requirement as well as depending upon your infrastructure need, you just pick the particular virtual machine. If you want to see the details for any of this, right, what you guys should do is just click over here onto the, and you will see the different versions. Standard DST, how many CPUs are there, how many GB memory is there, what is the local SSD, the maximum data disk, what are the cache disk throughput, on cache disk throughput, and max NIC. So for each series, you have a different versions. It provides you all the detail. Just review this for a quick minute and you will see mostly we are going to stick with A0 for all of our computing need because it's the lowest price per hour. So we will just stick with that one. So just review it, the rest of the sizes, and then we will start creating the Windows Server 2016 data center. All right, so now let's go back to our server and let's get starting to create virtual machine. So as you notice, Microsoft will always show you something that's gonna cost you a little bit more money, right? So what you have to do is always click on view all, okay? And then you will see all the instances, right? So if you scroll down, you will see at the bottom, you will see this A0, right? Or A3. So this is the A0. This is the most basic version with just one core CPU and 0.75 GB RAM and one data disk and one 300 max IOPS. So select this one and click on select. All right. So now you should see the storage. It is not a managed disk. It is the storage account, is this account that we are using. I'm gonna have a separate lecture just for this storage account so you will know the details there. This is our network. This is our virtual network, right? That we have created for e-learning group virtual network. This is a default CS subnet that is, and this is gonna be your public IP address. Your network security group. This is very important. Just go ahead and click over here. Right? So now, right now, as you guys can see, the network security group will have the inbound rules as well as the outbound rules. Now, let's say if I'm going to host a website on this particular server. So that means I need to allow HTTP traffic to flow into my server. So what I have to do is just click on add inbound rule. Okay. Once I do that, I just need to put the name for this inbound rule and just make sure I allow this thing or this particular rule. So just say a website or e-learning website inbound rule. You do have an option to set up a priority that this is the highest priority, so just set as 1. Source is gonna be, so you can even set up a source as from a CIDR block, as from a particular tag of instances, right? You can also select it any. That means it will come from any source to your computer. Now here you need to select, these are all the services. So let's say if you are hosting a PostgreSQL, right, on this database, then you need to allow port number 5432 for the internal traffic to flow in. If you are going to host the SMTP server, then you need to allow this particular port and allow all the traffic that comes from that port. If you are going to host Cassandra, then you have to open up this port on this virtual VM or on this Windows server. Let's say right now we just want to allow for POP3, you will have to allow this particular protocol. For SSH, you need to allow this port range. For now, and let's say if you are developers DNS, then you just select this particular DNS and allow this particular port number. Okay. Let's say you are allowing HTTP service, so port number 80, you will allow any traffic to flow in. So just click on OK. So your first inbound rule is created now. Let's create another rule. I want to avoid some inbound traffic. So block inbound traffic. Okay. The priority is 100. The source is this or tag, right? Or the service is gonna be FTP. So for the FTP port, I want to block all the inbound traffic. What it will be. Now this is very important when you are working on some highly critical servers, right? This is extremely important, and the reason is you want to only allow certain types of traffic into your network and not the traffic from all the ports. Else your server can be easily hacked. So you want to set up a proper permission onto all these things. Just click OK, and you should see the second rule that is also created. So you have this RDP session that is added. This is by default for Windows instance because that's the only way you should be able to log in from here, right? If you are logging into your computer through the web browser, then you can also use like another SSH or maybe like HTTP. You can even have the inbound connections for all that, right? That's also another thing. Now, let's just go ahead and try out a couple of other things. So click OK here. You will be back. So you have updated this particular network security group. If you don't want to do it, you do have an option to create a new group and just attach it to this particular network security group. Okay. You do have an option to add any extensions directly to this particular VM. So click on add extension, and you can directly add all these extensions such as Microsoft anti-malware, network watcher, power state, Windows chef extension, so agent for Windows server monitoring, APM, inside .NET agent, control M. You can just add any extension to this particular instance. So you don't have to go with the, you don't need to open up the computer and then install everything. It's just gonna be installed for you by default. Okay. Now just keep this option as default and go ahead and enable the monitoring. The guest OS performance disabled it and click OK. There is a validation failed. Let's check the error. Okay, so we just have to update the priority for that group. So let's just go ahead and do that. As the inbound priority and the output bound priority cannot be same, so we just have to update that, right? The one that we have blocked, right? So we just have to update this as 101 or 200. Just click OK, click OK, and click OK. Now it will perform all the validation. So it is the validation passed. We are creating under this subscription. Our resource group is this. Our location is this, and the computer name is gonna be this. So once this is created, we will get the public IP address. So just click OK. There you go. It has submitted the requirement. So your development, your deployment is in process right now. So we just have to wait until this status changes to running one. So we are still waiting for this to create it. So let's just wait for a few more minutes and it should be done. So we are still waiting for this to get created.